Hi guys, it's Connie. Feel free in your YouTube settings to go to wherever it has playback options and to go 1.5 speed because I take so many natural rests and do my ums and ahs and gush about all things Girl Scout. Miss Connie from Troop 90185. I'm here to share some Girl Scout goodness with you. I am so excited that we had our first meeting. I hope everybody had a wonderful time who could make it. I loved seeing how everybody was very creative with their name badges and such. I have posted that on my social media as a shameless plug at Connie Tryon for most social media things. I sent home with every scout. I wanted to give you an opportunity that if you would like to, you can create your own swaps. Yay! I really love swaps. I could go on and on about artsy craftsy things. I do have a couple of fun facts that I pulled from like traditions of Girl Scouts. In some of the handbooks, I've seen a different meaning for what swaps are, like swap with a pal, I think is one of them. But typically when we think of swaps, we think special whatchamacallits affectionately pinned somewhere. They are small tokens of friendship that Girl Scouts exchange with one another, and each swap uniquely reflects a fellow Girl Scout, their troop, or a memory of a special event. They're a great way, I promise I can talk. They're a great way to share stories and get to know Girl Scouts from across the country and the world. And there are also, feel free to pause to read if it will zoom in. I wanted to help some of our newest scouts. We have a lot of daisies. I'm very excited about it. And anytime you decide to join, whether you're a daisy, a brownie, a junior, or even a cadet, senior, or ambassador, or an adult volunteer scout, swaps are for everyone. I'm a big fan of swaps. I had several of them pinned to my vest. I have made so many of them and gotten so creative with them that I think I have almost 10 different types of swaps that I could take with me at any given time for any different occasion. Big fan. And I appreciate my fellow troop leader, Natasha, saying, you do not have to have the same excitement about swaps as I do. I wanted to make this opportunity available because swaps is something very Girl Scouts. And I have a lot of fond memories of making swaps, being the catalyst for one of our swaps when I was a brownie. And I love it. I think it's great. So what I wanted to give you was something that was just easy to go with. Also, this is a lot of swaps. To potentially make 40 swaps. And normally, unless you're going to an event that's going to be like, make your own swap, and you get that one swap that you get to keep either for yourself, or if you're feeling generous, you can trade it and swap for a different swap from other scouts. Typically you're going to make anywhere from like 10 to maybe 30. Again, I am a sucker for swaps. So I go big, I go hard, and I gave you 40 to work with. And what you're going to want to do is, even though everybody got the same template, not every swap is going to look exactly the same, because at this point you get to use your creative intuitions and ideas for what you want to do with this. And so first step would be to have these and then figure out what plan you want across all of them, because the nice thing about having so many is that you can eventually swap with other Girl Scouts that you meet at different events. So I'm always about the more the merrier. I'd rather make more knowing I have some left over so that I can swap them for other people who can look at them later than not have enough, because I want to share with everyone. But the other thing about this is this means 40 times. If you decide to do anything in particular, that means you're going to do the same thing 40 times. So I already took the opportunity and colored mine to share. And I would love to see how my troop, and if you decide to find something like this, I Googled, I painted, I copied, I pasted, creating it myself, and see how you decide to decorate and create your own swaps. I colored these ones in. Afterwards, I am going to actually come back and I'm going to cut them. Again, please remember, depending on what kind of details you decide to use is going to, it's going to affect how long it takes you to create your swap. The first time I made these, I think I put journey in a day. And I think I might've put the date, and I had to do that 40 times. If you, please feel free to ask your parents to help you. Don't let your parents make the swaps for you. This is about you enjoying your creativity in your swap. However, if you do need assistance, that's what our families are for. So please ask for help when you need some help. But I know that if I wanted to write my name or if I wanted to write my troop number, I'm going to be putting my troop number 40 times on the back or on the front, however you decide to decorate your swap. So I'm going to come back. Now that I've like done a coloring for it, I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut them out. And then again, they're special whatchamacallits affectionately pinned somewhere. So we're going to make holes and get ready to put pins in them. And I will be back. I have gotten to this part of cutting, and I would like to encourage and recommend that with a parent's permission and assistance if necessary, to go ahead and try cutting these out however you wanted to do them. I was going to leave them like this so that if I wanted to, I could write something on the back, or potentially I started making it a little bit shorter and thought that potentially I could paste them to the back of either this swap or another swap to just let it pop. Feel free to take your time or take a break. Enjoy creating. I'm very excited to see other people's swaps. I know when my scout makes a swap, even for the same event, we'll have different ideas. We both took the time to make some swaps, and they were very unique, but also still on theme at the same time. And everybody thoroughly enjoyed receiving a swap. For those who didn't have swaps, we basically just added another Girl Scout tradition to it, and we did the Girl Scout handshake. We said, if you will give me a Girl Scout handshake, I have no problem giving you a swap, whether you have one or not. And the Girl Scout handshake is, this is my right side. The right side, we bring the right hand up to do the Girl Scout symbol, which is bringing these guys together and then these guys together. It actually symbolizes the promise that we make while we make the symbol. On my honor, I will try to serve God in my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. So if you are able and have a hand to do so, usually you will typically do it with the right hand. And then you actually shake with the left hand, which is a little backwards for most folks that I'm aware of. But I'm a lefty. I'm all for shaking hands with my left hand, because that's the hand I usually want to reach out for. And then we would give the other scout a swap. So it's been very exciting. Please feel free to take your time, enjoy. The whole point is not to rush through the task and get it done quickly, but it's to enjoy creating and crafting. And I very much, it could take a pretty long time because you're doing the same thing over and over again. But I've heard a phrase once that's called practice makes permanent. The more we practice something, the better we get at it, which is why I think swaps are great, especially for like daisies, because they're learning how to color something well over and over and over again. As they learn to practice their use with scissors safely, they are practicing how to coordinate their hands over and over again. If they decide to do something like this, where you learn to fold it, and I'm going to just take this construction paper, and once I've got it where I want it, I'm gonna press this, and then you can press your fingers back and forth. I try to take the bits of my nails and just push to make a bigger crease that's more permanent. If I really want to do it really well so that I can rip it without too much of a line disappearing or going off the line that it's supposed to go off, I'll do it again on the other side. And then once you've got that, it should be pretty flexible, I hope. And then the closer your fingers are to it, you can just gently start to try to tear at the paper. And it's a special whatchamacallit. Doesn't mean they have to be perfect. It just means that they have to be special, which is super cool. I know exactly what I need to get next. If I decide to paste these on the back, depending on what materials you have available, and use your resources wisely. If you have glue sticks, go ahead and use a glue stick. If you have regular schoolish glue like this, use that. I'm fancy and a crafter, I have double-sided tape. So sometimes I'll use double-sided tape. Other times I will take the big clear packing tape and cover over the swap when I know I'm at a point where I'm ready to be done with it, so that it gives it kind of like a waterproofing of sorts. But that's just being fancy. You don't have to do any of that. You can make the swap however you want to make, because you're making it your own, and it's pretty great. The next step is going to be hole punching. For my daisies, my little hands, you may need a parent's help and assistance with hole punching, because it takes a lot of deep strength, even with the little bits of paper that we're putting together. So those extra swaps I made, I've already put holes in them, and I've already got a couple of my safety pins. Again, this is one of those things, this is probably the most expensive part of most of the swaps, is getting yourself some safety pins. You gotta go to the store, get some safety pins. And for our little ones, you're gonna need more help. Be kind to your adults and your families that are helping you. And remember to respect yourself and others and respect authority. It's part of the Girl Scout law. And if you need help, know that challenges can be tough, but you are also strong. But it's also important to do things safely and to do them with help when you need it. So like this part can be really tough to get into your spaces and places. I have the one that I'm making with you guys right now. And I think we have to put it just like this. I think I might put it right here at the top next to the paper, and then you push. And that one is pretty thin, so this should go pretty well. But then once you get to your safety pins, these things can be really teeny tiny. For those who are a little bit older who are going to do some swaps as well, if you're using beads, I would suggest using multiple pins, because if you hang a bunch of things off of one pin, you then have to pin that pin to wherever you usually pin it, whether it's to your vest for the event that you're on, or a bandana, or a swap hat, or a swap banner. That's gonna make it very, very complicated to try to pin this somewhere. So with these ones, because they're just one-dimensional pieces of paper, and this is all that I'm attaching to the other thing, it'll be really easy to simply pin that to whatever I need to pin it to. But again, little hands, take the time to practice and ask your Girl Scout family for assistance, because they have little tiny points and they are safety pins, so they are very sharp, and you need to be very careful when you go to do this in the future. But if you use bigger ones, you can do all sorts of little things. This was me organizing some sequins that came in a craft box for my Scout, and they weren't using it, so I decided to use it. And so that's pretty cool. But if I wanted to make that a swap, I would choose to not open this ever again, because it's just gonna make the swap break and fall apart and disappear. So I would take another pin, be very careful, remember safety first. You wanna keep everything about you safe while you're doing your crafts, and then would put that right here. And then if I needed to, let's say I'm gonna put it right here. Remember your safety, there we go. And, oh, almost got it. It's a little tiny one, it's very close. But yeah, then I would have it affectionately pinned somewhere, and that would be my swap for whatever event that I'm at. I'm super duper excited to see so many different types. What sort of swaps have you created? If you're interested in sharing them, I'd love to hear you share them. Our troop did the outdoor arts badge. So we went out into nature where we usually meet right outside of a school, and we did rubbings of the tree bark. We did rubbings of some of the leaves, and I took those rubbings and I made a swap. So I have a few of those. That's just one of several that are now in this swap bag that I will be organizing so that I can get ready for the next Girl Scout event that I go to. We went to a Halloween themed birthday party recently. And so we got a bunch of extra craft materials for it. And I said, you know, I think there's enough that we could make something semi-Halloween themed. So this is the initials for Juliet Gordon Lowe, the founder of Girl Scouts in the US. And her birthday was Halloween. So I thought that this would be perfect for when that time comes around. That'll be a wonderful special whatchamacallit, affectionately pinned somewhere, as long as you get the opportunity to share with other Girl Scouts. I think it's wonderful, and it's still coming along here. I have enough now that I'm wondering, what do you think I should use? Should I use a gold pin, or should I try a silver pin? Kind of reminds me of the song that we just learned too. We learned Make New Friends. Did you know, for the other Girl Scouts that may be watching this video in the future, that there are multiple verses to make new friends? I was not aware of that. I'm very excited to potentially share with our Girl Scout families multiple verses of make new friends. The one verse that everybody knows, that everybody learns, and it's in some of the handbooks as well. It's make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. That'll be another video for another time. I'm very excited about it. And I hope that you are excited too. So I look forward to seeing how everybody in our troop, or just anybody who finds this video helpful and useful, I'd love to see how you create your next swap. And are you doing it for a particular event? Was from Fall Product a few years ago, because on top of everything else, I also am the Fall Product Manager. Again, another video for another time. A lot of people don't know about Fall Product. They just know that Girl Scouts have cookies. Did you know that some of the boxes of the Fall Product have little trefoils on them? So I didn't know that until I started looking at the box going, I could use resources wisely and I could recycle that into a swap. And there were little trefoils. The trefoils behind the trefoils on the product boxes. These are another unique way. See, I took the clear tape, I took the box, and then I took a hole punch. I think I used some tissue paper on the back to highlight it. So the sky is the limit. Anything that you can create and imagine, you can probably turn it into a swap. And it is special and unique. And they are amazing and fun. And I am so glad that I got to share with you how you can make some awesome swaps too. This one has sequins and stickers and sparkly paper. Oh my, there's so much going on. This might be too much going on, but I love it. At Connie Try On, I would love to feel free to tag me. I'd love to see what you do and how you create and how you Girl Scout in the world, because at some point in your year, you're going to have World Thinking Day. That's in February, usually February 22nd, where we are in Girl Scouts of the USA. Over 150 countries participate in some form of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, and World Thinking Day is an opportunity to celebrate worldwide global scouting and Girl Guides, which is amazing and phenomenal. How cool would it be for all of us to make swaps one day and to swap them across the globe? Phenomenal. Be careful with that and enjoy, please and thank you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I do a lot of things on this channel. I used to read, I talk about things, I have commentary, and now I'm on the Girl Scout train for a little bit before I go back into reading. I miss reading. I miss being able to use my words and speak clearly, all with good time and practice. Have a great one, wherever you are. Bye.